Do you watch The View? Since the election, I haven't been able to get a handle on what their numbers are now. Mr. Zaxter, will you look up and see how The View's numbers are holding up since the election? They, of course, are full of Trump haters, except for one of them. And Sunny Hostin is probably one of the more vicious ones. I put her in the same category as I do Joy Reid or Lawrence O'Donnell. Same kind of just rabid, emotional, angry, anti-Trump people. Here's what she said. I'll say they've lost 500,000 viewers since the election. My crack research department has already gotten back to me. They've lost 500,000 viewers since the election. And they, of course, were calling Donald Trump a fascist and a Nazi, Hitler, Joy Behar, and Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin. Sunny Hostin, however, has compared what happened on January 6th, the January 6th Capitol riot, I'm not kidding, to the Holocaust. 13.
I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on, because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget, because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
Like World War II, chattel slavery, the Holocaust. This woman is ill. You know what one of the worst moments in American history was? The reaction to what happened to George Floyd. George Floyd resisted arrest, was full of drugs, a career violent criminal. The officer used a maneuver that he was taught in the academy. Don't believe me? There is a documentary called The Fall of Minneapolis on YouTube. You can see it for free. Watch it. The Minneapolis chief of police testified under oath that the maneuver that the officer used on George Floyd was not approved by the academy. They have a manual showing exactly the maneuver that the officer used. It's just taught in the academy. Yet we had 4 months worth of protests beginning in May 2020. $2 billion in insured property damage, maybe another $1 billion or $2 billion uninsured property damage. 25 people died, 2,000 police officers killed. And however you feel about what the officer did or did not do to George Floyd, there is zero evidence, none, that the officer was motivated because of George Floyd's race. He was never charged with a hate crime, and the trial was televised, so you could watch it yourself. And the lead prosecutor was a black man. And in his opening statement, he took pains to say that the police in general were not on trial. The Minneapolis PD in general was not on trial. This individual was on trial for what this individual did or did not do to George Floyd that day. Yet here you are, all these months worth of protests. Why? Because of the assumption, even though the lead prosecutor never even intimated it, because of the assumption that what happened to George Floyd had to do with his race. But January 6th is compared to the Holocaust. 6 million Jews died. Millions others did. World War II. Worldwide, 50 million people died. Slavery. I mean, this is just ill. And the reason that Mitch McConnell walked it back is because he overreacted and because Donald Trump on January 6th said, I want you to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard, which people like Sunny Hostin never mentions. President Biden said 5 officers were killed on January 6th. Really? Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.